Did you have a good night?
Really, but I slept really well.
Well, that's
There
good.
was a lot more drama later.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, it's okay.
I
Yeah, so
actually
who's
went to
getting up
bed
early?
super early because with this fast, I was like, I was yawning and like completely exhausted by like 8:30 last
Oh,
night.
bad.
So I pushed it till 10 because I knew if I went to bed too early, I'd wake up too early.
Yeah, that's my problem.
Yeah, with the new puppy, it's just hard.
I
So
know.
I stayed up till 10, but yeah.
Is the puppy getting up early?
Um, no, but I'm trying to keep him on a schedule.
Yeah.
So, it's hard because I let him sleep in my room and I have to get up to go to the bathroom usually in the middle of the night. And I'm always afraid he's going to wake up and then he's going to want to get out of
I
his thing.
know.
So,
Eventually that will stop. He'll
yeah,
know that you'll come back.
right. That's what I'm hoping. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
I promise.
he doesn't really make a lot of noise. And I guess the good part of me being alone in the bed is I usually like roll to the opposite side and get out. So it's a little more quiet, but who knows? All right, well, we'll get started in easy pose. Welcome to 8:30 a.m. Lucky you get a private. So we will focus a little bit more on core today, although working in the sand, is always core stability, but we'll do a little bit more. I know that your wrist said you're bothered. If you need to come down onto the forearms, we can do that as well. So we'll just start to tune in, sitting up tall and easy pose, lengthening the spine, the back of the neck, maybe closing the eyes or softening the eyelids. Start to tune into your breath, creating a longer expansion of the lungs and diaphragm with each inhale, filling up that balloon. And then on each exhale, fully depleting that balloon of any air, oxygen, stuck guck that might be in that balloon area of the abdomen, the diaphragm, the lungs, the space surrounding the heart, the throat. Hands can stay rooted on your knees, tuning into the sounds of the ocean that create that nice calming, soothing, rolling effect. Do some breathing exercise this morning. So we're going to take our index finger on our right nostril. And on your next inhale, with your mouth closed, breathe in through the left nostril, switching and closing off the left nostril. Exhale through the right side of the nose, keeping that left nostril closed. Now inhaling through the right nostril, switching the fingers, exhaling through the left. Repeating the cycle, inhaling through the left, exhaling through the right, inhaling through the right, exhaling through the left. One more round, inhaling through left, exhaling through the right. Returning that hand back down to the knees. Continue breathing through the nose, inhaling and exhaling deeply. Noticing how that air circulated through the body. Alternate nostril breathing is great for evening out temperament, stress. On your next inhale, start to float the arms up overhead, extending high, gaze towards the sky. And then we're going to start to bow forward, reaching the fingertips forward. The crown of the head is heavy. Maybe moving a little side to side here, releasing that lower spine. Slowly walking the hands back towards the legs and then extending them out in front of you. Crossing in opposite direction. So whatever leg was in front, switch it up. If you had the right in front, put the left in front. Inhaling on the next breath, high to the sky, fingers spread wide. Exhaling, hinging from the hips forward, folding in this cross-legged position. Relaxing the crown of the head towards the earth. Rooting through both sit bones here. Deep inhale. Exhaling out. And walking the hands back towards the shins, extending both legs. We'll take that forward fold in the seated staff pose. Option to keep the knees soft. Inhaling those arms up overhead. Folding and hinging from the hips here. Option to grab the toes, or if that's not accessible, hands can come to the earth. Releasing the crown of the head towards the tops of the feet. Inhaling, lengthening the spine, bringing your heart through the shoulders, gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold a little deeper. Inhale, lengthen, finding space in the vertebrae on the inhale. Exhaling, forward fold, beautiful. Slowly rolling up onto your sit bones. Option to keep the legs straight or bend them, coming into a reverse tabletop position. Hands come behind the seat. Fingers are pointing towards the feet. On your next inhale, opening the heart, pushing the earth away, sending the pelvis up towards the sky in a reverse table. Keeping the knees parallel, getting that bum activated by engaging the glutes here. Take a deep inhale, maybe lift an inch higher, and then exhaling, releasing the pelvis back down to the sand. Extending the legs out, taking that right arm across the body and giving a little pull in the back of the shoulders, stretching here. On the exhale, releasing and crossing opposite side. Beautiful. Sitting up tall through the spine. So this is an active stretch. Release on the exhale one more time. Reverse table. Option to keep the legs stretched if that feels good for you, or bending the knees. On the inhale, starting to lift the pelvis high. Lengthening the spine, navel to spine, pushing the earth away, sending your gaze back. Take a deep inhale, keep pushing. Exhale, lowering the pelvis. This time bringing the soles of the feet together into a butterfly position. Inhaling the arms up overhead, and then bending that right elbow and maybe grabbing, giving a little tricep stretch here. Sitting up tall through the spine. Beautiful. On your next inhale, sweeping the arms around and up. Exhale, putting the left hand behind your back as you pull that shoulder open to the shoulder. Beautiful. Exhale and release down. Good. In this little butterfly position, we're going to do the cat-cow back. So on your inhale, you're going to press your chest forward, pulling the heart through the shoulders and using the hands around the ankles as leverage. On your exhale, you're going to curve chin to chest, gaze to navel, rounding the spine, opening the shoulder. So it's inhale, gaze goes up. Exhale, curving the spine. Inhale, up. Exhale, curve. Inhale, up. Exhale, curve. Inhale, up. Exhale, curve. Two more. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat shape. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat shape. Coming back to that neutral spine. We're going to do some circling of the rib cage. So you're going to start to bring this rib cage forward, and we're going to circle out and around, shifting our weight, moving through the spine a little bit, creating some circles like you're stirring the pot. Yes, exactly. Just feeling that back body and the front body working together to release. And it's okay to roll on the pelvis a little bit from sit bone to sit bone. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. And then pausing in the center and then reversing the circle. So coming forward on the inhale, exhaling back, circling the ribs in the opposite direction. Being mindful to keep those shoulders out of that neckline, nice and relaxed. This should feel good in that lower back a little bit. And then start to find that neutral posture one more time. Extending those arms up overhead long. Start to do that hinge forward like we did in that seated forward fold with the legs externally rotated. Letting the crown of the head come towards the toes or maybe in front of the feet as your aiming point. Option to take a block or a prop and let your forehead rest on the block so you can be restorative here. wherever you are, keeping that right arm and elbow onto the mat. We're going to sweep our left arm back by our hip up and open to a little twisted side stretch here. Looking underneath the armpit of that left arm, twisting the heart open towards the sky as much as possible. Exhaling that arm down. On the inhale, reaching that arm back behind you, up and over the top for a little seated twist in this external rotated position. Releasing the palm back down to the sand, slowly rolling up onto your sit bones and bringing those knees up. Good. From here, we're going to do a little core activation. So your hands are going to go behind your hips. Option to come to the elbows if this is a better, if the reclined position is better for you. We're going to lift our legs to tabletop. So you want your knees and hips to be 90 degrees and then your shins to be parallel to the earth. So right away, press your navel to your spine and watch you're not sinking through the shoulders, but you're lifting your heart up, whether you're on your elbows or on your hands. We're going to start to tap one toe to the earth and then meet it at the top, and then the other toe to the earth, meet it at the top. Tap and lift. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, beautiful. Inhale, now both toes together. We go tap, inhale, keeping that navel to the spine. Tap and lift. Tap and lift, beautiful. Tap and lift. Now from here, we're going to extend our toes on the diagonal. Gets a little heated here. We're going to lower the legs down towards our mat without touching, hovering the legs and lift. So you're right. It's harder on the elbows as the legs are straight. So coming up onto the hands for the straight leg position is really helpful, but watch you're not sinking through the chest, that you're staying lifted. Lower and lift, lower and lift. One more, lower and lift, and then bring the knees into your chest. And just round forward. Give yourself a little break, stretching out the back of the shoulders here. Good. So we got it fired up a little bit. That's good. Let's swing it around. Coming into our child's pose for a moment. Big toes to touch, knees separate, sending the pelvis back. And your sit bones come towards the heels as those arms extend forward. Spread the fingers wide. Let that heart melt towards the earth, lifting the armpits up a little to activate that back body. Beautiful. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale. One more inhale deep. Exhale out. Coming up to that tabletop position, stacking your wrists on shoulders, your knees and hips. We're just going to do 2 or 3 rounds of cat-cow since we did it in that butterfly shape. Navel to spine on your inhale, opening the heart, gaze high for your cow. Exhale, curving into cat. Inhale. Exhale, cat. One more. Inhale through cow. Exhale through cat. And then finding that neutral length in the spine here. So we're in this flat tabletop position, pushing the earth away. Start to kick the right foot back, keeping the toes attached to the mat, heel is high, keeping the weight evenly distributed. Start to float that left hand towards the front with the thumb up towards the ceiling. As you start to lift the heel on that right leg, pushing the earth away, keeping a long spine, hips pointed down towards the mat, bird dog position. Firing up the core here. Deep inhale. Exhale it out. One more time. Inhale. Exhale it out. Let that hand come back down to the earth. Keep that right leg extended, but you can lower the toes to the sand. Pivot your shin that's on the earth out to the side. We're coming into a modified side plank. Pushing the earth away, stacking your shoulders, hips are open. Option to lift that leg up and find that balance with the toes pointing forward. Deep inhale here. Exhale, releasing the foot and then pivoting around onto the hand, coming back to tabletop. Child's pose for just 1 round of breath, releasing that lower spine if there's any tension there. And then coming back up to tabletop to the second side here on that bird dog. So finding that neutral spine, back of the neck long, navel towards your back body, pushing the earth away, extending that left leg back, toes attached to the mat still, heel is high, extending that right arm high, thumb towards the sky as the heel floats up. Trying to find that length and expansion through the back body and that energetic connection from the hand and the foot. Pivot those toes down towards the sand a little more. Beautiful. Deep inhale. Exhale it out. Replace that hand down, pivot the shin, coming up to your side plank modification on your second side. Lifting up, eyes can go up towards the top arm, or for more balance and grounding, you can look down at the hand on the earth. Beautiful. Option is lift the back leg up. Excellent. Nice. Take a deep inhale. Exhaling out, letting the foot come down, the hand come down, pivoting around. Sending the hips towards the sand, so your body's in this diagonal position. Start to lower your chest, elbows skimming your sides down onto your mat. Tent the fingers wide. Spread your fingers like a spider. Push, plug in through the pads of the fingers. Shoulders roll back and open on the inhale. Start to lift the heart, and the back of the neck stays long as you come into King Cobra. Wherever that is for you, drop the shoulders. Beautiful. Exhaling it down. One more time on the inhale, start to lift the heart, lift the crown of the head, maybe finding a little more extension in the arms, watching not to sink here, but staying lifted and long. Beautiful. Exhaling it down. Nice. From here, hands come under the shoulders, tuck the toes, shift the weight up and back, sit into the heels, but keep the knees parallel if you can. So not necessarily a child's pose. We're going to stretch out our feet a little bit here. So your feet, your toes are still tucked under and your heels are high, sending your hips back. You'll feel a nice stretch in the toes, the metatarsals, and the arches of your feet here. Then slowly walking the hands back towards your body and coming up seated onto the heels if you can. Is that comfortable for you? There's an option to take a block if you want to put it under your hips for a little support if that's better. But the idea is to root back so that you can stretch the feet as we do these side stretches. So we're going to take our side stretch in this kneeling position. If whatever's comfortable for you, it depends on how high you want to be. If you just need a little boost, keeping the knees parallel and that the heels are pushing towards your sit bones. So you're not letting them flare out to the sides because otherwise you're not going to stretch your metatarsal and arches. You good. So you're going to take a deep inhale, reaching those arms up high. On your exhale, start to reach over towards Malibu, keeping both sit bones evenly descending down towards the heel. Inhaling up, exhaling, rinsing to the opposite side. Beautiful. Inhaling up, bringing the booty off the heels. So we're coming up onto the knees. And then you're going to take the arms. You can either cactus them or place them on the small of your back, rolling the shoulders back. Inhale on your exhale, sending your pelvis a little forward for a little camel or arch back, heart opening stretch, whatever works for you here. And then inhaling back to that neutral spine, exhaling, bringing your hips down, extending the arms out for a moment. And you can leave the block there for support in this child's pose if you want. Beautiful. Now we're going to shift our weight forward. You can remove that block if you have it, just so it's out of the way for you. You're going to shift your weight forward, coming into Sphinx pose. So your toes are going to push into the sand. Toenails are flat. You're on your forearms and they're parallel like an equal sign. On the inhale, you're going to bring your heart and push into the earth with those forearms, lifting up and finding length. So this is more of like elongating that spine than it is back flexion. Finding that heart coming through the legs here. Beautiful. From here, tuck the toes. So the heels are high, but toes are into the earth. On the inhale, all you're going to do is lift up to a forearm plank. So on the inhale, you're going to send your shoulders towards your fingers, gaze between the thumbs, finding that forearm plank, core tight. Inhale, exhale. Let the hips descend down, untuck the toes, Sphinx pose, heart forward. Beautiful. One more time, tuck the toes, lengthen the spine, hips come up, core tight, pushing the earth away through the forearms, forearm plank, inhale, exhale, releasing down, sitting back into your child's pose. Preparing to come onto our feet, tucking the toes, heels come high, inhaling the knees off of the earth, exhaling, push back to your downward dog. Immediately start to pedal the feet. There you go. Make sure your feet aren't too wide, hip distance apart. Beautiful. And then send that weight up and back a little bit more, so you're taking pressure out of the wrists here. Nice. Taking a deep inhale, lifting that right leg high, heel to the sky, toes to the sand, three-legged dog. And then stepping the foot between the hands. Opening up towards Malibu, that right arm extends high in this twisted crescent lunge. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lowering that hand to frame the foot. Step the back foot in 2 inches, keeping that front knee soft. On the inhale, take your gaze up, stretch that front leg. On your exhale, forward fold triangle, or pyramid, I'm sorry. Squaring the hips, pulling that right hip back and the left hip forward, letting the crown of the head rinse forward. Inhale, lengthen the heart, lifting up, fold into that pyramid pose. Bend the front knee deeply, step back to the top of a plank. Move through your vinyasa, go straight to downward dog, bringing that heart forward on the inhale through cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take one round of breath here. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Start to lift that left heel high, toes to the sand, three-legged dog on your second side. Feeling length and expansion through the back of the legs. Sending that foot between the hands, stepping down. Back knee stays lifted as you open your heart towards Venice. Extending that top arm high. Gaze can go up towards the top hand or down towards the bottom hand. Spinning that heart each time a little bit more towards the sky. Deep inhale, exhaling out. Letting that top hand come down to frame the front foot, stepping that back foot in, squaring off the hips so the feet are parallel and they're like on railroad tracks. Lengthen the spine on the inhale, folding into pyramid pose on the exhale. Pulling that left hip back, right hip forward, melting the heart towards the shin. Again, inhale to lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. If getting the floor is inaccessible, you can always use your blocks if you want to put it under each hand for the inhale to bring you up a little higher so that you can really restore this down. Beautiful. Bend that front knee deeply. Stepping back to the top of a plank, moving through your vinyasa. Inhale, exhale as you lower. Untuck the toes, shoulders back, heart lifts. Inhale, exhale, downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale here. Sigh it out, exhale. On the next inhale, taking that right leg high, toes down, heel up. Three-legged dog. Stepping that foot through the hands. Spinning the heart open, twisted crescent lunge. Same, we're doing the same flow. Yep, so you're going to open towards, there you go. We're going to add on in a minute, that's why. Take a deep inhale. If your block is nearby and you want to use it, we're going to shift our hand that's on the ground, that right or left hand, and you're going to come into a twisted half moon, lifting the back foot up, spinning the heart open. So if balance or you're not close enough to the earth, yes, put the hand up flat, flat. Yes. And if you need it taller, you can go this way, or taller, you can stack two on top. Pressing down into the block as you lift that back heel high. Beautiful. Take a deep inhale. Exhale down. Let that leg descend. Bring the other hand down to the other block. So if you have blocks on either side of that front foot, you're in this pyramid pose. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, forward fold, pyramid. One more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold, pyramid. Beautiful. Keeping the legs straight, opening the heart once again, lifting that right arm high for a twisted pyramid. Beautiful. Lowering the hands down, deep bend in that front knee. You can get rid of the blocks if you want as you move through your vinyasa, or go straight to downward dog. Moving with breath. Inhaling as you come up into cobra. Exhaling as you push back into downward dog. Take a deep inhale here. Side out through the mouth. Exhale. Let it go. One more time. Deep inhale. Side out. Floating the left heel high. Toes to the sand. Heel to the sun. Three-legged dog. Stepping that leg through the hands. Back knee stays lifted. Opening up to twisted crescent lunge, second side. Option to take that top arm and bind it behind your back to open your heart and spin it a little higher if that feels accessible. And then releasing that hand down. If you want to put it on the block, you can. And if you want the other hand there too, you can as well. Up to you. But we're going to start to come into our half moon. So you're going to take that right arm forward, shifting their weight into the front foot, lifting the back leg up, opening up that heart towards. I'm sorry? So you're going to put up your left arm, spin your heart towards Venice, and lift the right leg. Core activated tight here. Push through the back heel, push down and away from the earth with that hand that's in the block. Twisted half moon, beautiful. Bringing that hand to the earth. Both hands can come to blocks if that helps you. Squaring the hips, coming to the pyramid. So making sure your feet are parallel, beautiful. Take a deep inhale, lengthening the spine. Exhale, forward fold. One more time, deep inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Twisting in that same direction, keeping that right hand rooted into the block, opening up that left hand to the sky, heart towards Venice in this twisted triangle or twisted pyramid. Take a deep inhale, bringing the hands down, bending that front knee deeply, getting rid of the blocks if you want, and rolling through your vinyasa, shifting the weight forward, exhaling as you come down, inhaling on that cobra, and then this time pushing back to child's pose for a couple rounds of breath here. How are you feeling? Good. Tuck the toes, parallel the shins, walk the hands back towards the feet. So we're coming into a squat. You're on the balls of your feet. Keep your blocks nearby, just in case you want them. We're just going to come into a forward fold with our legs parallel, hip distance apart. So taking a deep inhale, start to lift the tailbone. On your exhale, fold deeply, bringing that forehead towards the shins. If you want to put your hands on blocks, set them underneath the shoulders and let yourself melt down, aiming the crown of the head towards the top of the blocks. Lengthen and lift on the inhale, spine long, gaze forward, fingertips to the top of the block or shin. Exhale, forward fold. rolling the blocks out of your way, slowly coming all the way up onto your feet, sweeping the arms up the side on the inhale. Palms come to touch, come to prayer center on the exhale. Beautiful. Taking a deep inhale, reaching up. Exhale, chair pose, hands into heart center. Beautiful. Sit a little deeper. Yes. From here, extending those arms up overhead. Coming to airplane, sweeping the arms back by your hips, maybe shifting your weight forward, lifting the heels and coming onto the ball of the foot, sitting the crown of the head forward, sitting deeply in the hips. Exhale, let the heels come back down to the earth, heart comes up. Again, coming forward, inhale. Exhale as you come up. One more time, inhale. Exhale, keeping the arms extended, forward fold down, walk out to the top of a plank. Stepping that right foot on the outside of the hands. So both hands are on the inside, coming into lizard pose. If you want to use a block here, you can use a block to come down onto the forearms. If you want to come down onto the back knee and untuck the toes, you can do that as well. Keep sending the pelvis down towards the mat so you're not on that kneecap. There you go. Do you feel that stretch?
Yeah, I mean, when I'm on my hands,
Can you forward more? Take an inhale, lengthen that spine just a little. And on the exhale, try to descend the hips a little closer to the earth here. Nice. Coming back up onto your hands. You're going to take that front foot and you're going to swing it back to meet your back foot, staying on your knees. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, push back to downward dog. On the inhale, lengthening that spine slightly. On the exhale, coming down deeper into that expression, letting the pelvis descend down. Coming back up onto the hands. This time we're going to bring that back foot behind you, and then we're going to come into frog. So you're going to bring one knee up in line with your hips and the other knee up. Now, you might want your block for support, depending on how open your hips are. The idea is to have your knees and your hip in line with one another as you come down. So whether you come down onto your elbows, I don't know how open your hips are, but try to keep the shins parallel to one another so it's not too much in your knees. Does that hurt your knees? Okay, good. Can you feel a stretch here?
oh yeah.
Good. Is a little tighter. So in this frog position, start to, huh? You've never done frog pose. Wow. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, bring your lady parts towards the mat a little bit more. Let it relax and open. Deep inhale. Exhaling out. The easiest way to come out of frog pose is to army crawl your elbows forward and let your hips come forward. So take your block out and then army crawl your elbows as you come forward out of it. It's the best way to release those hips. And then push back to your child's pose just to create some oppositional stretch in the hips, letting the belly come through the legs. And then walking the hands back towards the knees, coming onto your sit bones. How do you feel about going to the water? You good, or do you have to work? It's up to you. It's your class. So, okay, let's do it.